We have one of the largest land positions up to the northern part of central Newfoundland. We've been doing aggressive sampling, which is directly tied on to their resource zone. Been hitting visible gold. Our drill permits are in.
Hello, welcome to Assay TV. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Karim Rayani, who is CEO and Director of Falcon Gold Corp. Falcon are a TSX Venture Exchange listed company focused on acquiring and exploring a portfolio of projects across the Americas. Karim, fantastic to see you here today. Can we start things off maybe with a quick sort of overview of the company and its kind of mission statement?
So Falcon is a Canadian listed company trading under the symbol FG. We trade on the OTC under the symbol FGLDF, and in Germany on the Frankfurt Exchange. We have a total of 14 projects, mainly focused in Canada. Most recently, we completed a spin-off of our subsidiary, which is Latamark Resources, which is going to be going after opportunities in South America. So, lots going on. We've recently expanded our portfolio into battery metals. And for a small market cap such as ourselves, we definitely have a lot going on. During these down times, I really see this as an incredible opportunity to go after assets, which we would not normally be able to pick up. So I'm aggressively going after as many opportunities while we're in this slow downturn.
Let's just sort of back up a little bit and sort of break down the company by the things you're focused on there. First of all, your gold projects in North America, Newfoundland. You've built up quite a big land position there, sort of right at the heart of the Newfoundland gold rush. Tell us a little bit about the projects you've got there and some of the exploration you've been doing recently.
So, our projects in Newfoundland has me probably the most excited. One is I'm a gold bug. But what we've managed to do is acquire one of the largest portfolio of holdings in central Newfoundland tied onto major structures. I think most of your viewers would be familiar with a company called Newfound Gold. Was trading at 50, 60 cents a few years ago, hit a high of $13. Eric Sprott, the billionaire resource investor, has gone on record saying he believes that to be one of the biggest discoveries in the last 10 to 15 years. So how we differ is we own 100% in 90% of our assets. We don't have any net smelter royalties. And what this allows us to do is to really target the project instead of spending money in property payments. So we've tied up ground, which is directly tied on to First Mining's project, which is directly to our south. We're also directly tied on to Matador, and we control a large, system that goes right in the middle of those two resource zones. So there's 1 million ounces to our north. There's 1 million ounces directly to our south. And Benton and Soquimon just hit the first lithium pegmatite discovery on the island, and that's directly tied on to our claims as well. So, lots of excitement. They're drilling right now. We're getting crews mobilized here, in probably the next, 2 to 3 weeks with crews. There's a lot here to go on, so I'll try and be as brief as possible. We're also directly tied on to Gander Gold, and we have one of the largest land positions up to the northern part of, central Newfoundland. We've been doing aggressive sampling, which is directly tied on to their resource zone. Been hitting visible gold. Our drill permits are in, and we plan to be drilling, probably, February, March, depending on when the permits come in. And then we have also ground, which is directly tied on to the Valentine Lake deposit. So, we've covered off, really 3 of the major kind of players on the island.
You mentioned that you've got some drilling coming up. Is that at the Gander North project, yeah?
Correct, yes. We're essentially, drill ready. We've done all our, priority targeting, and now we're just waiting on permits. So it's it's really as soon as we get the permit, to organize crews, and we're going into Christmas here, so I can see that probably being a February, March commencement date.
Fantastic. Now, moving on, can you tell us a little bit about this spin out? Latamark Resources, you spun out your Esperanza project in South America. Tell us a little bit about the rationale behind that and what you have plans going forward.
Yeah, the one thing I'm very cognizant of is dilution, and Falcon has always been a Canadian focused issuer, and I started looking at opportunities in South America, which I think is tremendous upside. The geology is very similar to Nevada, and really to streamline processes, I thought it would be in the best interest of shareholders to pay a dividend out to to pay a dividend out to everyone. One, two is to be able to not dilute Falcon any further and separate Latin America from our Canadian assets. So long term, this keeps our share capitalization in check. We're able now to expand into different areas and run a different office without the burn rate, with Falcon absorbing it all.
Absolutely. I guess it enables you to focus more on your North American projects, yeah?
Correct.
Fantastic. And also, you're very busy in the battery metals space with various acquisitions this year, a couple in July, I think it was, and then one in October. Tell us what you've got there.
Well, I think everyone is is well aware of the the battery, green metal, battery metal case right now. Tesla, the need for renewables. So we started looking very seriously at assets, and we kind of decided to focus on nickel, nickel, cobalt. Mm-hmm. So our most recent acquisition is directly tied onto Gold Metals deposit. They hit a massive system of nickel sulfides. Fairly at a fairly decent depth. They're drilling right now, and further assays coming out in the next week to 2 weeks. So we're directly tied onto their discovery. If you actually look at their main discovery zone, they're drilling, and system flows right in the direction of our ground. So we believe that our ground is a direct continuation of their main zone. So it's very exciting times. We just announced an airborne survey. The same geological crew that's been running their operation is also involved with us. So in the next week to 2 weeks, with their results and with our airborne, we'll really be able to get a good feel, for the system that we're in. But it's early days, and it's looking fantastic.
Absolutely. And what are the other two projects? You have one in, I think, Timmins, Ontario, and then another project in Quebec. What are your plans there?
Yeah, we're all kind of chasing, the same system that Gold Metals is going after. All our projects have, fairly high grade showings, earlier stage projects, but 1 to 2% nickel at surface. We've got a fairly decent land position on all three projects. The project that's directly tied onto Gold Metals, we're the second largest landholder in that camp. So really, the strategy is to do the airborne magnetic survey, mobilize crews, define priority targets, and get permits in there as quickly as possible to drill.
And when would you hope to have some results out from these surveys?
He'll probably still be 4 to 6 weeks as we go into Christmas, and again, launch date early next year.
Fantastic. So you've got a lot going on there with the company, but over the next few months, what should investors be looking out for? What are the sort of milestones you hope to achieve?
Well, I think if you look at Falcon, as a pure gold play, I think you would be hard pressed, to find a better value proposition with our market cap. There's two projects I would like to touch on, which has been our flagship. One is the Central Canada project, 230,000 ounces, historic resource of 10 grams. It's directly tied on to Agnico Eagle's 4.6 million ounce deposit, known as the Hammond Reef. We've got the largest contiguous group of claims to their south property line. This area received heavy rain over the last 6 months, which kind of derailed our third phase of drilling. So then we decided to focus on Newfoundland, for the time being. And then in Red Lake, we're directly tied on to First Mining's ground, the Spring Pole, which is another multi-million ounce deposit, and we got a pretty sizable area over there. So those two projects are tied on to Canada's largest gold deposits. With the Spinout, that's another dividend payout that's going to be paid in the next couple of weeks. The record date is going to be probably the first or second week of November, and there'll be further details on that probably coming this week. So just right there, there's lots on the gold side. If you're into battery metals, with our most recent acquisitions, nickel, cobalt, we're aggressively focused, and there'll be lots of news coming out on that front over the next few weeks before Christmas.
Fantastic. So we should expect lots of news flow from Falcon Gold Corp, and we hope you can come back and tell us a little bit more about it as things develop. But thank you very much, Karim Rayani, CEO of Falcon Gold Corp, for joining us today for this update on the company.
Thank you, Leo. Talk soon.